Chances are that if you're planning a trip to Japan, you are skipping out on this incredible city, and you shouldn't. Stick around and I'll tell you why. Hey there, my name is Manya and I'm an expat currently living in Japan. I've lived here for a little over a year and I have traveled around a lot of the country. And I've also watched a lot of you plan your trips to Japan, and I get really tired of watching everyone go Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Nara, back to Tokyo. Because the city I live in is worth your visit, your time, and it has everything you're getting in all those other cities, minus the crowds. Today I want to talk to you about Nagoya. Nagoya is a big city. It's in between Tokyo and Osaka, Kyoto. And if you're on the Shinkansen, the bullet train, you are stopping in Nagoya and not getting off, but you should. So here are my top reasons to visit Nagoya while you're in Japan. Reason number one, it is super accessible from either Tokyo or Osaka, depending where you're flying in and out of. As I mentioned at the top, Nagoya is one of those cities where the Shinkansen stops every time. You cannot take the Shinkansen in between Tokyo and Osaka without stopping at Nagoya. So if you're looking for a shorter trip from Tokyo, it's about an hour and a half on the fastest bullet train. From Osaka, it's really close. I have gone to Kyoto for a day trip from Nagoya. It's only about 35 minutes on the Shinkansen. So you don't even have to go out of your way to get to Nagoya. We have an international airport here, so you could fly in and out of Centrair Airport, and it is, trust me, so much less crowded than some of the other international airports in Japan. Nagoya is still a big city. Over 1 million people live here, but it's not a tourist destination because it's more of a manufacturing town, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have everything that the other Japanese cities have. In fact, if you go to Downtown-buri Street in Osaka, which I have done many times and really don't like because it's so crowded and so full of tourists, well, instead, come to Nagoya and go to Osukanen. Osukanen is exactly the same as Downtown-buri, except it doesn't have that guy. You can't take the picture of that guy, you know. I'll put him on the screen. It doesn't have that, but it literally has everything else that Downtown-buri has, but it's very Japanese, and there aren't a lot of tourists. If, like me, you want a true Japanese experience and you want to do what Japanese people do, Osukanen Shopping Center is much better than Downtown-buri, in my opinion. In Nagoya, we have museums. There's an art museum, there is a cultural museum, there's a science museum, but my favorite museum in Nagoya is the Maglev Shinkansen Bullet Train Museum. This museum traces the history of trains and transportation in Japan. You can walk onto old bullet trains, old city trains. It's a great experience. It's down at the port, which is one train from Nagoya Station. And bonus, if you have kids, that's also where Legoland is located. There are some fantastic day trips from Nagoya, which you can either do by train, you can rent a car and drive yourself, or you can hire a driver. For example, Gujo Hachiman is the epicenter of plastic food in Japan. So if you are familiar with Japanese restaurants and how they have the plastic food on display, they're all made in this area, and there's a great plastic food museum there, and you can even make your own plastic food in Guju Hajiman. Nagoya has Ghibli Park, that is the primary reason that I find a lot of tourists stop in Nagoya, is to go to Ghibli Park. I've not been, it's not really my thing, but if you're coming to go to that park, why not stay a couple extra days and do all these other great things that Nagoya has? A couple of things to round us out. We have all the cute Instagrammable food here without the wait. And we have onsen. We have super spas here that are easy to get to by public transportation. They are cheap and they're Japanese. So I'd say the main reason that I would encourage you to not pass over Nagoya is that it's an accessible city, it's a big city, but it's also very Japanese. I find when I go to Tokyo or Osaka, I hear so much English that it doesn't really make me feel like I'm having a true Japanese experience. My friends will hate me for sharing all this about Nagoya. We love that it's a little bit of a secret, but I want to encourage you to check it out. And I'll put some links in the description box below, and I hope you'll give Nagoya a chance when you visit Japan. Thanks for being here.